How much does it cost to live in Venice, Florida?
We are going to tell you in this video, and we're getting started right now.
Real quick, if you're looking to move to the Venice area, be sure to call, text, or email Haiti. She is a realtor in the area. Information for that will be in the description below, but let's get to the numbers.
Okay, so these numbers are for 2 people and a dog, but our first expense and the main one, I think the biggest one for everyone, would be your mortgage. So our mortgage is roughly $1,500 a month, and that does include property tax, homeowner's insurance, sewer, trash.
That's mainly it.
Yeah, mainly.
And to give some context too, because everyone's gonna have different needs, size of the home, all that kind of stuff. We did buy a little bit before the market, or actually right before the market went crazy. So keep that in mind.
Interest rates were low, roughly 2.5 to 3.5 back in 2020.
So yeah, higher interest rates, higher mortgage, gonna be a higher cost. And
homes were also lower priced at that time. So
yeah. And we got a 3-2, so that, you know, again, if you want maybe a condo, if you want a small home, manufactured home, you want a bigger house, like all that's going to change it, of course. But just to give you an idea, if you're maybe just a couple looking to come down to retire or a smaller family, it's probably going to be somewhat similar, keeping in mind that the price of the house and the interest is higher now. And then as far as HOA, because a lot of places are going to have a homeowners association, we live in a lower cost HOA, basically gets us pool, some street lights
and gate,
and
sidewalks,
sidewalks.
In Florida, it's not very common to have sidewalks in your neighborhoods unless you're part of an HOA or a planned community. And with that comes the HOA fee. And
ours is just $100, which is one of the lower ends, I'd say. I mean, you can get something in South Venice that doesn't have an HOA, but a lot of the communities a lot of people do want to be in are either going to have probably at least a minimum of 100. It could be more or less. So again, factor that into your calculations as far as if you're looking at a specific area or if you're talking to her about a neighborhood to move to, something to think about.
Okay, next one up is utilities. Our utilities for the month are, for water, we pay roughly $100 a month. It's just the 2 of us, and it just depends, you know, do we have family over? Are we using more water for our plants, things like that, which usually in planned communities, the water irrigation system will actually come from a pond. So that's not money that you're paying.
Yep. And then our other utility would be the electric bill, which that also comes out to about $100, give or take, depends on the month. If the air conditioning's running more, the summer months, it'll probably be a little bit higher. But for our house, which is a little over, 1,500 square feet, that's about what the electricity bill.
Yeah, and it's just the 2 of us again, but we do both run our businesses from home, so
yes.
Our computers are always on. When we're filming, we have all the lights on, so maybe it is a little bit on the higher end for
That's
2
true.
people.
Yeah, because we are using it pretty much all day, every day, unless we happen to leave the house.
Yes. And that brings us to internet. Internet, we do have a business plan, which is going to be a little bit more than your typical, but again, it's just the 2 of us, but we do upload a lot of videos to YouTube.
So we gotta have a little more data and speed.
So Jesse's business is also online, so he uploads a lot of videos for his channel. We upload a lot of videos for our channel, and then I have another YouTube channel that I teach Spanish in. So our monthly bill is about roughly $50 a month.
Exactly 50.
Exactly
every
50.
month. Yeah, that does not fluctuate unless we happen to go. There is on our plan a cap on the data, which we have almost gone over a couple times. We get a notification and haven't yet. But I forgot what the terabyte limit is, but we haven't gone over it yet. And again, we upload a lot of videos, so we're probably the exception to the rule on that. Next bill, cell phones, everyone's got them. We'll give you our price just so we can add it into the overall calculation, but whatever you have, it'll probably end up being somewhat similar, you know, maybe unless you decide to dramatically change plans if you move down to Venice. But our cell phone bill, we've changed it to unlimited recently. What is it right now?
$175.
And before it was much cheaper. And we just got the brand new iPhones too, so that's built into our cell phone bill too. So maybe if you're not buying a new phone, it could be significantly less.
Yes, and we do have the unlimited plan because we need that for our businesses, and also 3 lines that we share the data between the 3 lines.
And quick note, we switched down here to Xfinity Mobile, something that we hadn't really ever seen up in Wisconsin, and we switched to them because they were a lot cheaper. So that's something to think about. The service is pretty good, pretty comparable. They use Verizon's towers, but
yeah, and we were on Verizon before, and it was much more for our monthly plan, and we decided to give Xfinity a try, and so far it's worked like exactly the same as Verizon for us.
Yeah.
Next one is gas.
Gotta have gas.
Yes, and right now it's an exception, I guess, to the rule just because gas prices are so high.
Which maybe it will be for a little, I don't know, who knows?
Yes, so that for us, it really varies. It just depends how much driving we're doing, but roughly 75 to 100 a month. But yes, it does vary a lot.
And I think there's a lot of things to consider. Again, with us, our situation's a little different. We both work from home, so we don't do a lot of like regular commuting. However, if she's got a lot of clients in town and we're running all around the different, we'll go to Northport, Englewood, Venice, Sarasota. There can be a lot of extra driving going on with that, so it's kind of sporadic. And our car does pretty good gas mileage too. And I guess that comes to the next bill, unless you have anything else to add on that. Which the next bill is going to be your car insurance, which again, our situation is a little different. We both had a car when we first moved to Florida, and we just found out her car just pretty much sat there. So we decided, let's just go to one car. It just makes sense. So for our insurance, what's the cost on that?
$149 a month, and that's just for one car for 2 drivers.
And that price does go up generally for most people when you move to Florida because there are a little bit more car accidents and things like that.
Yes, and depending where in Florida too, it can be higher because when we lived in Orlando, our insurance was actually higher than when we moved to Venice.
Yeah, so again, keep in mind, just one car for us. If you got more, that could be a little bit higher.
And then our car payment is actually $356 a month. Keep in mind, we bought this car actually right before the pandemic hit, so interest rates were low. Yeah, interest rates were low, and car prices were also low.
Yeah, they were way better. Actually, car prices have went up significantly too. But again, if you already got a car, you do or you don't have a payment, plug that into your calculation. Next payment, health insurance. Now, our situation, since we're both self-employed, is very different. It's really going to depend on are you employed? Are you self-employed? We can't really tell you. You know what your health insurance is, and we'll just leave it at that. Ours is about $450 a month. We are getting a government credit or whatever, so that brings it down to that $450. Again, just figure it out for you, but for us, it's $450 a month. Maybe it's less if you're getting good insurance from an employer. I guess I don't even know.
Yes, all depends to how good your employer's health insurance is, and also if you work through the government, you're going to have a much better health insurance and much lower rate as well.
Yeah, so that's something to think about if you're moving down here, you're gonna get a new job. Maybe put that into consideration, what kind of job you get.
Yes. Our next bill is streaming packages. We actually don't have cable, and we found out that we don't really watch much TV. The only time we watch TV during the day, it's at night when we are, unwinding down and getting ready to go to bed. So for us, having cable, it just didn't make sense. But for streaming packages, anywhere between $10 and $30 a month. It just depends how many services we have within a month.
Yeah, sometimes we'll rotate between HBO Max, Netflix, you know all the ones. And it just depends on which ones have shows that we want to watch. But we usually keep it to 2, maybe 3 during a month. But that's us. If you want to get cable, I think that would probably add another 50-ish bucks a month to your bill if you want to have all the cable TV packages.
Mm-hmm. And you can always have cable TV, internet, and sometimes even cell phones all within a package, so that brings your rate down as well.
And actually that makes me think of something. The only reason we were able to get Xfinity Mobile is because it's kind of like a bundle. We have Xfinity for our internet, which you could also bundle with your cable, and then you have to have that in order to get Xfinity Mobile. So that's something to think about if you're gonna look into that. Next one of my favorite bills. Well, I don't like paying for it, but I like shopping for it. Groceries. I like my food. And for us, again, prices are really high right now, so it just depends. We also eat a lot of fresh fruits, a lot of fresh vegetables. We're not quite to the hardcore organic side of things either, but probably makes our bill a little higher than the typical person's. It just depends on what kind of stuff you eat. But our bill in a typical month right now is gonna be about $500. We've really been upping our fruit and veggie intake. Prices are up, and there's a lot of frequent trips. And keep in mind, within that bill, sometimes I like going to Walmart because they have everything, right? So I'll maybe also get some weed killer and some other things, some vitamins, and some of that stuff gets kind of put in that bill too. So I take a lot of different multivitamins and stuff like that. I'm big into health kind of stuff, even though I also like my junk food. Anyways, point being, our bill probably is a little higher than the typical 2-person couple. Again, though, if you have kids, maybe it would come up closer to our level.
Probably. So he mentioned he loves his food, and he also loves to eat out.
A lot.
Yes, too much. So our monthly bill, I guess you could say, our monthly expense on eating out maybe once a week,
once to twice.
Yeah.
Kind of gave a ballpark on this one.
Yes, just because we're not sure, and we haven't been eating out a lot lately either. But roughly $240, I think, would be a good number for our eating out habits.
Yeah, we figured maybe about 60-ish bucks a week. So again, if you're different, just calculate it differently.
And yeah, and family size as well. For the two of us, it's just the 60 a week. But if you have a bigger family, obviously that's going to be a little bit more.
Or just you go to eat out less.
Yes.
One of the two. And one other thing you'll want to calculate into your monthly cost, so we're giving you, as you can see, like literally pretty much everything, is debt. And I have a lot of student loan debt. I'm just going to put that on camera and you're going to know about that in this video. I went to an expensive private school, foolishly. But anyways, point being, if you've got any other outstanding debt, credit card debt, I don't know, whatever debt you might have, and you got to pay something monthly for that.
And then another expense to keep in mind is your tax, your sales tax rate. In Florida, anywhere from 6 to 7%, it's what the tax rate is. For us coming from Wisconsin, it was 5.3% in our county. And
sounds about right.
Yeah, then we moved to Orlando area, that was like 6.5%. Then we moved to Sarasota County, and in Sarasota County, the tax rate is 7%. So that's a big change from 5.3 to 7%. So that's something else to keep in mind.
But on the flip side of that, we do not have state income tax. So probably balances out. We maybe even come out slightly ahead even with that 7% income tax, because usually it figures out to about like 10-ish% for state income tax that we're now not paying. So overall, probably still coming out a little ahead on that. So the recap of all the expenses, and then we'll give you the grand total. Go ahead and take it away, and we'll go with the high numbers that we gave for each of these. And again, you might want to adjust this based on your circumstances.
Okay, so for our monthly payments for our car is $356. Car insurance is $149. Our mortgage $1,500. Health insurance is $450. Water, it's $100. Electricity is $100. Internet is $50. Groceries, $500. Cell phones, $175. Gas, $100. Dining out, it's $240. Streaming packages, $30. And then other debt we did not include because that's going to be different depending on your specific situation. And HOA is $100 per month. So total is $3,850 a month. And
leave a comment. Let us know if you think that's expensive or not. You know, it depends on the person. You know, it depends on how much money you got saved. For like, if you got a big down payment for your mortgage, maybe it, you know, that cost goes down. Depends on your job.
Depends on your other debt too. Like, how much other debt do you have? Do you have credit card debt? That all could, you know, either increase or decrease your monthly payments. But yeah, I don't know. Looking at that number, I feel like for two people, that's kind of high.
Yeah. Well, and we did mention in the beginning of the video, and a dog. So our dog food and stuff, and she gets medicine stuff. I guess add another $150-ish a month, because she does have to take some medicine for that. And yeah, for her allergies down here. But anyways, if you are looking to move to the area,
make sure to call, text, or email me. I am a local realtor here in the Venice, Sarasota area. My information will be in the description box below.
And if you want to know more about life in Venice, Florida, check out the playlist right here. We got a bunch of videos that'll pretty much tell you just what anything you want to know. And if there's something we haven't covered, leave a comment, let us know. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit all the buttons down below, and
live breezy.